Thanks for staying with us. So moving on to another topic. The governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, reiterated that he does not and will not negotiate with bandits. In his last statement on banditry, which has been generating quite a bit of mixed reactions among many Nigerians, he said, and I quote, "Even if my son is kidnapped, I would rather pray for him to make heaven instead, because I won't pay any ransom." Some are hailing the governor, but yes, correct guy, you're being patriotic. Others are saying that, why would you say that about your son? What are your thoughts on this? You can call us again on 08127053687 and also 091-390-76948. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. Okay, so there are three parts to this story. Who would like to go first?
When I heard it, my heart caught, as they say. My heart caught. Yes, because, and then I was, okay, he's a father, not a mother. Should we ask the mother of the sons what they would say? You know, but I also understand the dilemma that he's in. This is a man, this is a governor of a state where many kidnappings have been going on within his state, many killings, kidnappings, and of course, recently we know of the parents of those who, of the students that were abducted, you know, protesting for the release of their children. And he had said he would never negotiate with bandits. And people would say to him, I don't blame you, it's because your child is not among them. And so in his response, he said, even if my child. So I guess it's a political statement, politically correct statement on one hand, but also comes across as insensitive.
It's not politically correct. Now you should say what people want to hear.
So for me, it came across as insensitive. I don't want to hear about your son. First of all, you have even put your son in such a precarious situation. This governor has a son that he specifically put in public school. He made huge social media, and you know, I'm like, you have your child in such an open place. You don't want that sort of attention. These are bandits. These are wicked people. In fact, they are waiting for statements like this so that they can prove the point. And we know that many times, even with our security operatives and everything we've put in place, they have found ways to go and get people and kidnap people right before our very eyes. So that is dangerous on the one hand. On the other hand, what you should be saying for me, what I should hear from the governor is, I will not negotiate with bandits because this is what we have put in place. And I promise you in 2 weeks, because of the drones and the new training and the armory and the, the arms and ammunition that we have put in place, in 2 weeks, these bandits will be begging for us to free, something like that. That's what I would rather hear than putting your son on the line.
What if that's all talk eventually? But
I think that, so you mentioned that maybe because it's a man, maybe the woman. I had this conversation with my husband yesterday. My husband wasn't even pointing out that, why would El-Rufai say this? Like, you would, well, he would say it because, maybe because he has the state apparatus to find his child. He said, but the average Nigerian family whose child has been kidnapped, that does not have any IG of police or somebody to call, is going to be thinking, I will do anything to get my child out. So, one, I would say that El-Rufai is good that he's standing on he's firm on his stance. It's good to be principled. It's good to have your values. I'm not going to cut this. But even in the face of all of that, this is not what people want to hear right now at all. We want to be comforted, because all those people whose families are still with bandits, many of them are suffering many health issues right now because they can't sleep confidently knowing that they don't know where their child is. So people want to be comforted. People want to be reassured that you are doing all within your power to support them. We don't want you to compare. If I have headache, don't tell me your headache is worse than my own. Just deal with the headache I have. Don't compare. Don't say if your own child is kidnapped, you will not do the same thing. Just deal with the problem your citizens have at this moment.
Yeah, I would say the governor is on the hot seat.
He is.
He is, because he has children kidnapped from the state, Nigerians kidnapped from the state that are still in the those states that nothing has been done for them. Beyond what he's saying, we cannot, maybe because of security reasons they don't want to release, but what we can see, nothing has been done. They said they're waiting for the kidnappers to release the children on their own. And the 10 that have escaped, we saw 5 escape the week before and or released.
Yes.
They said
10 in total.
The military said they were rescued. The other one said they were released or escaped. And the 10 total that had to find their way home by themselves out of the 29. So I think the governor now feels the need to justify his earlier stand that I would not negotiate. Yeah. He's also said that the bandits have no right to life under the Constitution, and that for the full weight of the law and the security law enforcement agencies should be taken on them, and wherever they are found, they should take the war to them. They should be killed. They should be and all of that, saying that this is not the time for us to be playing human rights about those issues. Because anytime the military want to take full action, you then see Amnesty International come and say that certain rules of engagement were not followed. He's saying that when it comes to these kidnappers and bandits, all those rules.
Would you say that he's walking his talk? So he's just not telling you, I'm not going to negotiate. He's also saying that, listen, if it happens to my children, so be it. But let me take this call. I'll come back to you. Theophilus from Makadi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good morning.
Morning. Morning.
What I think is this issue of El-Rufai, it's, he himself putting his foot very much on the ground. He's commendable. I know lives are at stake, but if he has to really stand by what he has said, if not now, then when? Look at all the rest governors have been paying ransom. Kidnappers, they come back and kidnap more people. We're talking about 30-something lives out of which 10 have been released here. If El-Rufai fails to start on his feet now, is it when, if he pays ransom now, then they come back and kidnap 100? Is that when he's going to say no? I think we should support him and see how this thing goes. It's painful, the lives are at stake, but what can we do?
Thank you very much. So that was the angle I was going to take it in, because the truth is we are asking for leaders to come out and speak. Let us hear your posture. Let us know exactly where you stand. Many are still pussyfooting. Oh, they want to negotiate. Others are saying, please allow them with their bandits. They are reasonably doing what they're doing because of XYZ reason. But this man is coming up, putting his foot down. Not only that, he's telling you that even if it happens to my child, why are Nigerians not celebrating commending his stance? Now listen, regardless of what you people say, even if my child is concerned, I will just pray for him because I am not going to negotiate.
I don't think that terrorists. I think people actually
don't trust
El-Rufai.
You don't.
Not me.
Okay.
Nigerians don't trust people.
Some Nigerians. Okay.
Because tomorrow, if it happens and he decides to do something for his child, you will have people across lines saying he did the right thing. Some people will be reminding him, you say he will not pay. Some people will be reminding, do you want him to leave his child to die? We'll be talking a different story there. We would like to see the exception. If the 29 children kidnapped were some of his family members, maybe then we will trust what he's saying.
But I think that El-Rufai has a bit of goodwill. There's a bit of trust for him because he's been someone that, especially with his son in public school, that he's done a few things that would make us feel like we can believe him. So I don't think it's particularly a trust issue. I think it's anything you say will be used against you until you rescue those people. So it is, if he was saying this at a press conference when those children were already rescued, and he says that even if he was my child, I would not have.
We will not believe him then.
I don't know. If they had been rescued, like they didn't pay ransom and the kids were there, we would have said that, okay, I'm happy you stood by your word. You actually rescued the children without paying ransom and that kind of thing. But when you are saying it when the children are still in banditry with the bandits, then we don't want to hear anything.
Let me take Hassan. I'll come to you, Mariam. Okay. Hassan, are you there?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Please, leadership is not about being nice. It's about being right. We should get it noted. All this emotion you people are bringing to the table, I don't think that one can work at the temple of leadership. You are sitting comfortably well in Lagos here. You don't have problem. You understand? People are in Abuja talking. But please, can you please assume to be one of the victims or a relation to the victims in those areas? Kaduna, Sokoto, Puntua, Zaria, and Co. People were impoverished. People were tired. We are tired of paying ransom. People gathering their cover to pay ransom. And a leader now come, he put his foot down that I will not pay ransom. When he refused to pay, some of the abducted children were released by force by those bandits. Please, we should learn to face them head on. Forget all these things like Shakara. You understand? It will soon go away with us if we put our foot down the way El-Rufai is doing. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Yes, go ahead, Mary.
Okay, so I was going to respond to your initial question, which is why are we not proud that he said that? And for me, that what he said is not really about trust, as you said, but it's about hope. For me, when you say, if even when my child is kidnapped, I would not negotiate, you've taken hope away, and that's it. And there are many people who their children are out there right now. I read a post of one of my classmates, and she was like, her cousin had been kidnapped. She says, here I am, I'm quite cold and in the comfort of my house, and I'm wondering what my cousin is going through out there in the bushes. I know that on the one hand, Mr. Hassan can talk about people who have put their monies together and they have paid ransom and they have their family back. That's the difference. They have their family back. And when you have your family with you, then you can have this sort of intelligent conversation. The truth is that you must put emotions where human beings exist. It's a human thing. It's not numbers, it's not statistics. I'm happy if the governor feels that just being bold in your statement and just be, like what they call, Nigeria call it boldface, will solve the problem. I'm happy if that will solve the problem. But what we really want to hear from our governors and from our leaders, we don't want the back and forth with the bandits. Yes, we agree. But we want to know what you have put in place, what you are doing. We are tired of hearing every other day that people are being kidnapped, that people are snatched from their, children are snatched from their parents' arms, taken away from schools. You cannot take away emotions from those sort of things. And until you have your own child in the bushes, you're lying down in your bed morning after night wondering what they're eating, if they're being flogged. Sometimes it shows pictures and videos of people being beheaded. And you say that this is not emotional? I mean, it cannot be anything but emotional.
So in going with that, because if we talk about emotions, now imagine if every single governor of this state took an El-Rufai stand, saying that we are not going to negotiate. Does that represent to the bandits that listen, nobody's giving us money from anywhere, nobody's negotiating with us? Does that change? We don't know, but we're just thinking that will that posture by the governors across the state change the bandits' mentality, thinking that okay, nobody's going to give us any money, these people are going to come after us? Maybe that's what El-Rufai is trying to let other governors understand, that you cannot negotiate and you must be willing to lay down everything, even if your own blood, for the same cause. Do you think that makes sense?
The Nigerian police have constantly rolled out notice to parents saying don't negotiate with kidnappers, give information to the police. And we've even seen where the result of what they posted was simply to leave the parents to self-help. So you will go and negotiate the release of your family member by yourself. It is almost public news. Constant kidnapping being on a road. How people just, some people even just pay by themselves, knowing that if they go, they are still the breadwinner of their families. These are facts. In the same Abuja-Kaduna, the Zaria road was so prevalent for kidnapping those days that parents were constantly paying for their children to be returned before they did the railway across that area as a relief from what was on the road. So we know if a governor says I'm not going to negotiate, parents will find a way to find their children. If these parents of these children were not indigent parents, by now they would have found, insisted on being able to talk.
Right, let me take this call from Mrs. Jacob.
What happens across Nigeria?
Mrs. Jacob, are you there?
Yes, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, just want to say good morning to you, my big sis. My contribution this morning is just that maybe as Nigerians, we should just give El-Rufai kudos. Because for him to have come out to say that, and speaking as a mother now, I can't say that. And I wouldn't even allow my husband to make such a statement. But for him to have come out to say that, I think we give him a kudos. And we can see that in all applications, it's making a stand on not compromising. I think we need to give him a try on that and give kudos to him. That is just it. Thank you so much,
Thank you, Mrs. Jacob. Yes,
please let me quickly address your question. I think that I'm happy that the press release that was done by Shegumi and Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo, last week referenced the fact that there must be unity in how we're dealing with the insecurity challenge. Currently, we have some governors sympathetic to bandits. We have some governors, maybe not sympathetic, they are speaking. Yes, there are other governors that are speaking.
No, she said sympathetic to bandits.
Speaking in terms of this is who they are. Okay. This is how we should approach them. So we don't have a united front on how to deal with it. So Maria, I agree with you that if all the governors, if nationwide, there is a communique that is signed by every governor that no government funds will be used to pay bandits. And rather than pay bandits, this amount of money that has been spent over the past 1 year paying bandits will be used to do A, B, C, D to improve the security apparatus of each state. And then the governors, NGF, the Nigerian governors forum, also come up with that communique saying that families, please just give us 1 week before you consider paying. We would ensure that every kidnap, we deal with them in 1 week. That's the hope we want to. That's the assurance. That's the bravado. That's the bold face we are looking for.
Thank you.
That is exactly. We want that, and I believe united front is what will work, because you cannot have them being able to run from one state to the other.
You know, Tope, you know how we heard of the American that was kidnapped, and Americans swooped in and saved them. So in the face of these possibilities, that people can actually be rescued, and then you have your own country say to you, bold face will make me, I mean, please,
even if
cannot, I mean, if it's possible that people can be rescued from another continent and get the person out, all I want to hear is how we're going to rescue.
So is it possible that the governor knows that we have the capacity to rescue, but it's not been done? And that's why he's saying that, listen, no matter what, we're not going to negotiate, because he knows, maybe they're not giving out the intelligence they have. They're just saying he knows for a fact that these people can be rescued. That's why he's putting his foot down. Because remember, they've also had a report saying that this money is collected is what is funding Boko Haram. So he's also saying, listen, there's a ripple effect to this constant money that you're negotiating on. And we're not going to continue with it. We're going to put our foot down on it.
The problem for me, I don't want him to negotiate with kidnappers. I want him to be able to rescue children. You know that kind of response that Governor got because somebody just attempted his life. And talk about the 1,000 lives that they kill in Nigeria every day, and nothing happens. Nobody even, their families just find a way to bury them and move on. That kind of response is what he knows is possible. You should wake up that kind of effort and get it to work on in this situation, so that we're not still sitting on your view, discussing, I will not negotiate. The children have not been released, they have escaped, they were rescued. Till now, the governors across states, even in the north, responded to kidnapping when they passed the law that if a hostage dies in the custody of a kidnapper, is death sentence. They also responded to protecting the schools by the schools, whatever aid at the time. But all this failed. When you get in government and you know the prevalent problem of your people, and you're on top of governance, you're doing the thing that you should do beyond this kind of speeches, I will trust you.
Let me take this call from Victoria. Victoria, are you there? Sorry, we lost that call. Okay, we have to wrap up on this, because obviously, I mean, it's important that we've shared our thoughts on it. But do you have any tweets before we wrap up? Go ahead. Do you have any tweets on Governor El-Rufai's stand? Yes.
So, said, as Atso says, firstly, he's his son in Nigeria. Secondly, he should allow his son travel along Kaduna-Abuja road without security personnel. It's a big lie. Toyo says, this is a good one coming from him. He's a man of his words. Many governors have not been truthful to Nigerians. Jide Badge says, he said the right thing. The bandits should be wiped out completely. No sane country negotiates with bandits or terrorists.
Okay, I have Prince Ajibode. Good morning, Prince. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
What happened with all these bandages? Most of the governors, they don't want to put their hand on the blood. If they could have been killing them since all this should not be happening in Nigeria. If they have been killing them, they are from the jail. Nobody wants to put their hand on the blood. Killing them, it will bring them down.
The bandits.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prince Ajibode.
You know what? I was going to say. Okay, it's still on. Okay. I was going to say that the bold face that the kidnappers will hear, that we believe, is that when you catch them and put their picture on TV and everybody sees them, not the one that they will say, we went and we spoke to them, we know about them, we know of them. Do you understand? You bring them out, show us their pictures, show us where they live, where they went to primary, secondary school, who their friends are, who their family members are. That sort of thing will shake them. It's not this kind of
God bless you. See it as see, this is one of the issues. You just skim around the issue. You saw it happen in China. You saw it happen in China. I didn't prosecute it. You execute the execution.
We practice a democracy.
Yeah, that's the problem. Our president has said that during his own time as a military general, that all these due process.
Simple. Our constitution guarantees life only to, you know, it qualifies it with a sentence or a death sentence. But then we get to the court, we cannot even prosecute Wadulu.
Exactly.
That we say to people that, you know, the facts are the Nigerian police swap, the military, yes, we're clashing. We ourselves.
When Jerry Rawlings wanted a change, we know how he went about it. I'm not asking for that kind of.
But we know what China is doing.
We know what China is doing.
The point is that yes, we believe in due process, but your country is getting at a state of anarchy where people are being kidnapped. And here you are discussing and having conversations. One is saying we are negotiating, and now saying I'm not negotiating. We are in that state where somebody must take a critical decision. If we catch one bandit, we must show that we mean business. And how do you show it?
Execution. But our president already said, shoot at sites. Our president
shoot at sites. Executive order. Are you shooting them aside?
Yes, our president said shoot at sites.
Let me take this call. I think I have Abubakar.
Don't kill innocent people.
Are you there?
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Reduce your volume of the TV. Please, go ahead.
Yes, I saw a topic, very important topic, especially looking at the situation we are right now.
Yes, go ahead.
So what I'm saying, this statement that our governor made, to me is totally wrong, because it shows his weakness and his inability to discharge his basic duty. As a governor, you should protect your people first, not to be even bragging that if your child is kidnapped, you will pay a ransom, which means there is a room for kidnapping. Means your people are not living in a happy mode. You understand? We are living with our one eye closed, one eye open. Why? Because of their failure to check their duty. So when they fail and those kidnappers kidnap our people, they should do whatever they can do to rescue our people, whether by paying money for ransom or by using their security to go and rescue our people. But not for him to remain in the office saying he's not going to pay anything, while it's his responsibility. Nobody forced him to be in that office. He was the one who moved tirelessly day and night during rain, under the rain or under the sun, saying that he is capable of providing security for us. We put him in that office to protect us. When he fell and those kidnappers kidnapped us, he should use whatever means he has to rescue us, not to say he's not going to pay a ransom.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. So there are different angles to this also we've been discussing. You know, these are people who we've heard reports that they are being funded by ISIS. They are having weapons coming in from Libya and all that. These are people that have an international network. A government is saying, I don't have the capacity to deal with these people. I need federal government. And we go back to the issue of restructuring, because we can't continue to depend on the center to defend us. So this is all part of it. Is that ripple effect of the inactions of our lawmakers? Fix this constitution, for heaven's sakes, such that everybody can now. So when you're having that revenue, that money for security, we can then hold you better accountable. Not you tell the sorry, they're not giving us money. You can now know that your governors are fully responsible. They don't have the capacity to deal with international networks.
So just as you mentioned that they're united, the international network, we need a united front like Gumi and Obasanjo had proposed, because just your stand by that you will not negotiate will not solve an international network problem. Just your stand. You have to be deliberate about what you're going to do to stop that influx of those people coming to destabilize your state or states around you. And even if it's the governor, because when he was the former governor of Borno, when it was his time, he would go to the federal government and demand that something is done to save his people in his state. I would love to see El-Rufai go and hit the door at Aso Rock and demand that the president takes a strong stand about what is happening in the state, like the former governor of Borno used to do. But you can't just sit down and say, I will not negotiate. Why they hold people down? And they could kill them.
We have the Federal Executive Council meeting weekly. the governors always gather, at least the Accountant General will gather every month to do the sharing. I would prefer that our NGF does something concerning this. We have 3 major crises in this country, and it's not just something the president alone is going to solve. It's important that there should be a unified response from the governors concerning our economic crisis, because we have one. There should be a unified response concerning our security crisis, because we have a major one. And if the governors cannot come together to speak with one voice on how they will prefer solution, then the crisis is even worse.
Let me take Chinedu. Chinedu, are you there?
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. In respect to what Governor El-Rufai said, I agree totally with him. You understand? That there is no need of negotiating with the bandits.
Okay.
You understand? But on a second thought, when your son is involved in a kidnapping, there is no way and means you are not going to talk with the bandits. Now, first thing first, Shegumi said he knows these bandits, and he also acknowledged the fact that the government, the military, they know where these bandits are. Now, if you make it look as if like, okay, I'm not going to negotiate with the bandits in Kaduna State, they will see that there is no business in Kaduna. They will now move to Katsina. They will now move to other states where there is this privilege they have for our government official or our clerics to come and negotiate with them. When you pay bandits ransom, it will enable him to buy more armories. It will enable him to kidnap more people. You understand? So I don't see the reason why the government, Shegumi coming out to say that the government know where these people are, the military know where these people are. What is holding the government to go to that very place and fish them out? Okay, so you understand? So now, okay, we are talking about Sambisa Forest for a very long time. What is the geographical map of Sambisa Forest? Use a chemical missile and finish that place, bring it to ashes.
Thank you very much, Chinedu, because, I mean, I understand Nigerians' frustrations, because imagine if your president came out and said, I'm not negotiating with anybody, I have already recruited 10 million soldiers across the country, and we have sent them out to the various states, and they're going to comb the forest. You know, we see action, which is what you said. So if you're insisting on no negotiating, you better have some corresponding action to back it up. So I think that's what we're saying in general. So you have to have, there has to be something, but a governor may not be able to do that because he's incapacitated. So we now need the federal government to have that kind of same posture with the apparatus they have to say, to make that declaration that I'm not going to negotiate because I have the resources available to tackle this.
Laws are changed by contesting the law. If you feel this law is not serving you, you can contest it. The challenge is the governors have not come together to contest the law of their inability to control the security apparatus within their states. If all the governors come together and say, President, these all the governors come together, get all their state lawmakers, all their state lawmakers, and all the state lawmakers are made to come together and present one document to the president saying that this restructuring of our police security, we need to do it because Imo is catching fire, Akwa Ibom is catching fire. At the same time, we cannot continue like this. We need you to decentralize the police force.
Thank you, Doctor, because is that urgency that we see?
No, we are going for Easter break. We can't come back until after the Easter break.
Jesus Christ.
The kind of conversations we have. There's Easter break.
Very soon will be summer.
Yes. Summer will be something.
Doctors are going on strike. You say after the break.
There's always something that's a little more important than what is urgently on ground, and that's just concerning everything, concerning policies, everything that's happening.
There are two things. Either we fully restructure everything, or just let us take it batch by batch. Restructure the security apparatus. Just start with that one.
Because we know that's urgent.
There's a mineral resources restructuring. There are other parts of the restructuring that we want, but this issue of security is such that we must restructure.
This is my fear. We are Nigerians, and we are the ones in government. These elites who have a different police for themselves and a different one for the masses. Are these the ones that would restructure police and decentralize the police force and have?
We'll recruit new ones.
When they come within the state, we'll still be serving or they'll be serving master. You will come within the police and they'll be.
But they cannot point finger that I don't have the power.
Exactly. Was attempted, and the president assigned that, you know, even the chief of army staff responded. The IG visited. and nobody has gone.
Yeah, Nigerians are
That's a normal thing to do now.
Taking stock of what is happening there and say, okay, these are the poorest areas. These are the areas we are coming forest, finding these children. And then governor will say that I will not do anything.
Let me take
That's what he's saying. I will not do anything.
Abayomi, are you there? And we'll take a few tweets after this. Abayomi, you're live. Go ahead, please. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I think it depends on the perspective that you are looking at the governor's comment from. Morally, is it right that he said if his son is involved, he's not going to negotiate? No. But as a leader, he's 100% right. I believe there are certain situations whereby kidnappers collect ransom and still kill their victims. Are we not even thinking in that direction at all? So, the more you negotiate with them and pay ransom, the more you empower them. God forbid it happens to our relatives. But on a normal ground, as a leader, I stand with him. I think he is right. Thank you very much.
I saw somebody, thank you very much, Mr. Abayomi. Somebody was also referring us to how Prince Harry actually joined the army. Because yes, you are the crown, you're the prince at the time. And he was willing to go into the army to lay down his life for his country at that time. So why are we not seeing this declaration in that same light? Like, this man is willing to lay down himself, his family, and say, if this thing happen, no, so be it. If I'm still not going to negotiate with this terrorist. So why are we not celebrating? Why is there so much
I don't know. Do you know,
rejection?
I think El-Rufai has some adult children, some adult sons, and I don't know how many of them are in the Nigerian army or the Nigerian police, and how many of them are fighting at the war front. That's different. That's very different from just using our children as sacrifice. That's why there's something that I always say that it's a bit sensitive. People don't like it. I hate it. I really detest it when they keep referring to this girl that was kidnapped as a martyr. As far as I'm concerned, don't sacrifice our children. Save and rescue our children. Simple and short. So yes, let's Sharibu. Yes. So, you know, but she was described one time that, oh, she stood up for Christianity. We get that. But you will not even be in that position if you did what you are meant to do. And if she was kidnapped because bad things happen, you rescue them. Stop using our children, even if it's your own child. Stop using them as talking points, as making political statements, and just do the right thing.
Let's take a few tweets, please.
Mistakenly born here says his kids are not in Nigeria, so he knew it that bandits cannot go from here to abroad.
That's not correct. Children. That's not correct.
Because we know the one that is in the public school there. Okay, he says, I will not negotiate is not a sufficient strategy. It ought to be part of a larger framework for dealing with the problem.
He's quoting me.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to, Marafa says, I just want to comment on someone's call. He said the governors are not ready to put their hands in this. That reminds me, the former governor of Zamfara, Abdulaziz Yari, who openly said he has resigned his position as the security chief of the state due to responding. Plenty to say. So Dean Solution says, Governor El-Rufai should devise a method to rescue them technologically or pay ransom. It's life of people we're talking about now. You just imagine how easy it was for those people to rescue just a kidnapped citizen in another continent. Security can surround their den.
All right, let me take Aminu from Yola in Adamawa State.
Good morning, brother.
Morning, you're live.
Yeah. In regards to what El-Rufai have said about bandits, we Nigerians should upload him and accept him as a good leader. El-Rufai has changed Abuja from what it used to be to what it is today. Go to Kaduna and see what it is in Kaduna. El-Rufai is one of the best Nigerian leaders. So whatever emotions and sentiments anybody can hold against him, he remains one of the best leaders of our generation. We applaud him, we encourage him, and above all, we wish him, yeah, madam.
Okay, thank you. Nobody is not, we commend him, we know his pedigree.
Yeah.
But these are lives that we're talking about. Is there another thing we can do aside not negotiate with the bandits to rescue the children?
See, a criminal forever remains a criminal.
Good.
A criminal should be killed, should be wiped out by whatever means by government. So we should all agree. Criminality does not know where anybody is coming from.
is a criminal.
That's true.
Whether it is Sheikh Gumi or Obasanjo or anybody that is saying that he needs a negotiation with criminals, it's not fair to Nigeria.
Right.
We should treat criminals as criminals, madam.
All right. Pointed.
Yeah, I just want to say something. You know, many times when we talk about our leaders and we criticize something that they have done, people take it like we're criticizing the whole thing. So yes, many times on this table we have talked about some of the things that the governor of Kaduna State has done for the states and how he has helped. I know recently they talked about the drone that will be sending medicines from, you know, like the city areas to remote and rural areas. That is fine. We are talking about kidnapping, whether we like it or not. As great as the governor of Kaduna State is, as you have claimed, kidnapping is happening in that state. Kidnapping is happening along the road, traveling to that state and from that state. Children as of today have been abducted and nothing has been done concerning them, apart from the 10 that we earlier mentioned who sort of have been released. And what we want to hear from the governor concerning security in Kaduna State, concerning children that have been kidnapped, is how to get them back. And when you find them, and you find the kidnappers, then don't negotiate with them. Prosecute them, execute them, whatever needs to be done when they have been found. Not while we are still talking about where they are, if they even exist. That's what we're saying.
Let me take this call. Somebody, I think from Mabel from Kaduna. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
The first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Well, I'm from Kaduna, and this issue is really worrisome because these children who have been kidnapped, I'm talking from the point of view of a mother. I have children, and if it happens that my child gets kidnapped, females are being raped on a daily basis on these kidnappers' dens. And then the government is telling us they don't want to negotiate with terrorists. Is it until this girl gets pregnant for these terrorists before this man will do something? He is saying if it is his child, okay, these are not your children. The parents are worried that their children are still there, and you're not doing anything about it. What of you seeking help from the international bodies to, invade these terrorist dens and get these children out? You're not negotiating, you're not doing anything about it. Then what are we doing to help the situation?
Okay, thank you very much for that. See, another angle that I saw somebody was mentioning the fact that when the U.S. was looking for Osama bin Laden, they didn't mince their words. It was really, really clear that, listen, we'll find you wherever you are, no matter how long it takes. We saw both presidents before, Obama also mentioned this, Bush, yes, I'm trying to remember. Bush and then Obama, George Bush. When the rhetoric was the same across board. And they didn't wait till they captured Osama bin Laden before they made these utterances. So therefore, what I'm trying to make us understand is that maybe we need more governors like an El-Rufai, letting those bandits know that we're not taking this we're not going to go into the sentiments. We're going to find you, we're going to execute you once we see you, and they know that there's something really, really strong coming from the government. But right now, when some are negotiating, maybe that's what the bandits needs to hear at this time. Maybe it doesn't really mean that his son will be kidnapped and he will say nothing, but he's saying that our utterances must be firm, strong, and direct. We can't continue to make them feel as though we will have the conversation, we will negotiate with you, and we understand why you're a bandit. Maybe that's where he's coming from.
Well, action, they say, speaks louder than words. So
I've said it all already.
We've heard you. Yes. Don't negotiate.
Okay.
But let's see this SWAT team that you have put together, or that you have forced the federal government to use to respond to your own local problem. You have gone to demand that thing must be done to solve your local problem, because we know the architecture of our security now that is still within the federal government. That you're demanding that this will be done, even if the children did not eventually come out, from that place while you're negotiating and doing that. We'll see your effort. Okay. But don't just come and every time you come, I'm not going to negotiate. And the parents are
all right. On that note, that's all we can take on the show today. Thank you very much, ladies. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye for now.